What is up, everybody? Today is Tuesday, January 14th. Welcome back to Kings of the Clubhouse with Big Kriegs and Tommy Zachary. Gonna keep it short and sweet today. We are recording a little bit
Later than normal.
Yeah, usually the episode would be up by now, but it was a long night last night and we all just wanted to get to bed. So, short and sweet while we're on our lunch break. So, here we go. Just gonna dive right into it. Biggest news of since we last talked. Notre Dame over Penn State. One off of a walk-off field goal. Great game. I mean, just an absolute great game.
Way better second half.
Yes, in all facets that you can say a college football game is, it was great. It was real close first half. Second half was just back and forth, back and forth. It was a great game. James Franklin can't win the big one again. That's kind of the talk of the town since it's happened. And Notre Dame getting $20 million to just put in their pocket and
To be there. Yeah.
to be there since they're not in a conference or anything. They don't have to split it. So that's a pretty big incentive for them. So, thoughts on the game?
Like I said, way better second half than the first half. First half was a snooze fest, and that last 20-something minutes was just electric. And that's what you want out of games. Because unless you were an Ohio State fan, that game was boring as hell.
Right.
The Ohio State versus Texas. Obviously, we saw Ohio State beat Texas.
Pretty convincingly.
Convincingly, yeah. Texas had no offense. They had, for like 2 drives, they had offense. The rest of the game, it was stagnant and couldn't move the ball, which is a shame with all those weapons they have. Not the outcome we both wanted, but
Agreed.
hey, we got Notre Dame versus Ohio State.
Yeah, you remember the matchup from a couple years ago was decided on the last play. Notre Dame only put 10 on defense.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great national championship. More news out of just the Ohio State Texas football game. There were a lot of talks that Quinn Ewers was going to transfer if he didn't win a national title. Immediately, I think it was even before the game,
he declared before the game.
Yeah, he said, no matter whatever happens in this game, the rest of the college football playoff, I am going to the draft.
Yeah, I think he said that Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, and I think it's a good move by him, especially with Carson Beck staying for another year. You know, it kind of looks like the whole question of the Ohio State game is, when is Arch going to come in? When are they going to put him in? So
that's the thing too. Is I think he realized that how much shorter his leash would be next year.
Yeah, and I mean,
they're not going to sit Arch for 3 years.
No, and I mean he's a good quarterback. He'll
get drafted.
Yeah, he will get drafted somewhere. I remember watching him when Texas came to Michigan, and I said, this dude's going to be a NFL quarterback. So, a little bit of preview for Ohio State at Notre Dame. I think it opened up at 9.5. It was down to 8.5 earlier. I haven't checked now. 8 in favor of Ohio State. I think this is going to be a slobber knocker, like back and forth game. People have been questioning Notre Dame kind of each step of the way with Georgia, with Penn State. Now they're kind of the underdog against Ohio State. I think Notre Dame is a great football team. I put money on them before the college football playoff started. I truthfully think that they are going to beat Ohio State here. I know Ohio State looks very untouchable, but I think Marcus Freeman's going to get those guys ready to play, and I think it's going to be a great national championship.
I agree. We're kind of stuck in the middle of the teams. Obviously, a little closer to Notre Dame than we are Ohio State, but we're surrounded by their fans, so
yeah. There's never a world in where you could give me or make me want Ohio State to win this game. I remember Loomis was just talking about it. When we were before the playoffs or the semi started, he's like, who are you pulling for? I said, Notre Dame and Texas. He said, really? No Big Ten representation? That doesn't bother me at all. I don't care about who's being represented in the playoff or like that. I want a great game, and I do not want Ohio State to win. I'm all for Notre Dame when it's on Monday. So
yeah, we'll talk more about that. We'll give our picks on Friday's episode with that, just because we're 6 days away from it. So Well, like I said, get back into that a couple of days. Jump into the NFL playoffs. The wild card, super wild card round is done.
That is no
Um,
longer referred to as a super wild card.
yes,
So we got to keep it alive. Yeah, go ahead.
Texans beat the Chargers. Herbert and that offense looked like shit. 3 interceptions, which tied his total from the season. He did in one game.
Yep.
Did not look good, and
Jim Harbaugh got the stinky cloud. So
just
if
the dirty bubble.
yeah the those broadcasts are fun, dude. I mean, it
Yeah,
is.
I enjoy them.
It's fun. It's centered to little kids, but it made the little chuckles
That's what
make you laugh.
they're trying to get little kids to watch the game, which
Yeah.
is I'm all for it.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh got put in a dirty bubble.
The dirty bubble.
And Justin Herbert threw a pick the next play. So curse of the dirty
Yeah,
bubble.
Herbert kind of looked lost.
Yeah.
Ravens versus Steelers was a snooze fest.
Yeah, I mean,
It got exciting a little bit at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but
there was really only one game from the whole Super Wildcard weekend that was actually like worth the
Sunday
shit.
night game.
Yeah, and that was a great game. We'll talk about that in a sec. But
we think Tomlin's gone.
I don't know, dude. So
I don't think he'd be fired. I think they would mutually agree to part ways.
Right.
And I think he'd go coach somewhere else.
I think he's a great coach. I think he absolutely deserves to be a coach in the NFL.
Look at his quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's been in quarterback limbo since Big Ben left. I think
they hired Arthur Smith, who had the worst offense in football last year.
I think he just needs a change of scenery.
Yeah, man.
If that means coming to Chicago, I'm for it. What I think is going to happen is I think he's going to take the Raiders job. I could just see him kind of going there.
Kind of fits it.
You know, I could see him fitting that mold and trying to change the culture.
Help him create an identity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then starting with a young quarterback.
Yeah. I mean,
I get
granted,
that.
they don't have a top pick, but they'll be able to either get a bridge guy or...
The Raiders do. Yeah, they do.
Well, I mean, they have top 10, but I think they're like 6 or 7. So, I mean, if you can get one of the top guys, great. If you're sold on him, if not, bring in Aaron Rodgers for a year. You know, do something to bridge the gap. The only thing is, though, is if you bring in Mike Tomlin, dude hasn't had a losing season ever. So then you're risking of, okay, well, if we really bring him in, he's going to change culture around. We're not going to dip low enough to get a quarterback. So I could see them being one of the guys to pick up, like a Quinn Ewers or like a Kyle
Or be
McCord.
aggressive and move up.
Or just like a young guy that everyone's not all the way sold on him yet. But I could see them doing something like that. Yeah, go ahead. I guess
the last game of the you'll touch NFC. Last game of the AFC, Bills routed the Broncos. Broncos went up 7-0 very first drive and then fell flat on their faces after that. Overall good season.
Real surprising to see that.
I'm content making the playoffs after being the power rankings we started the year like 31st, 30th. Like we're one of the worst teams. Our projected win total was 5.5. So I'll take 10 wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great stepping stone for you guys to build on.
Something to build on. Yep.
Sean Payton is a good coach. I'm worried to see if things don't go his way for another year. What would happen with that? You know, if the fan base is going to turn on him, or if it's, hey, he's the guy for Bo Nix, he needs to develop him. It'll be interesting to see. I think the biggest thing is your guys' defense is so young, it's crazy. Yeah. So you guys are gonna have a top 10 defense for the next couple years to come, if not top 5.
And we're gonna have like 53 or 58 million in cap. I think I said.
Yeah, I mean you guys are in a good spot to, shore up.
I would really like to bring in a receiver. I know, like our defense could use a couple extra placement guys, not necessarily like studs, but some placement guys. But if we could get a legit receiver, like add Garrett Wilson to that.
Or like a T. Higgins.
Like a T. Higgins, something like that. I think our offense would be scary.
Yeah. We'll move over to the NFC.
Justin won another Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm 2-0 in Super Bowls for the last 2 weeks. I won the season finale Super Bowl at Lambeau against the Packers to make them get the 7th seed. And then I won the Super Bowl this previous weekend with Jordan Love and the Packers looking like, I mean, score-wise it was a close game, but that game wasn't close at all. I don't know if, I mean, it may just be my Packer bias, but they looked bad. Like, they just looked broken.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall the last couple of weeks with them.
I mean, they got 3 straight losses. Lost to the Vikings, lost to the Bears, and now lost to the Eagles. So, I mean,
yeah.
Their
offense did not look good.
If you're asking me, the Bears broke the Packers. So,
here we go.
I mean, 1-0 in 2025.
Move on.
Gonna spin it all the way for the next 200 days, and we're gonna be right back at them. So,
the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, best game of the weekend. Sunday night matchup. Commanders going to the Bucks, winning on a walk-off doink-in field goal. If there was anything just to add cherries on top of the Washington Commanders, the whole Caleb versus Jaden thing, the Commanders with the Hail Mary effectively ruining the Bears' season, and now the Commanders...
That was the turnaround point.
That was the turning point for both teams.
It was after that.
And, we went on a 10-game losing streak after that.
Hell yeah, brother.
And just the cherry on top of it is in Jaden Daniels' first playoff game, they get a doink in to win the game. So, doinks never go in. Anytime...
I saw doink not go in this weekend.
Yeah. That doink...
Should have been 10-10.5.
Yeah. I mean, it brings back a lot of memories. Corbin actually just sent me a video from that.
I saw it on my time hop.
Yeah, it was not too long ago. In the day that it happened. So, but Commanders, they got their win. Jaden Daniels, he looked great. I mean, it's pretty clear he was the quarterback, like the best rookie quarterback this year. I know Bo Nix had a great year, was playing injured the last couple weeks, which is crazy to think about. He had a broken back while doing all that.
Yeah.
But I think Jaden Daniels has just, from what we saw in the 17-game season.
If the rookie of the year was up for grabs going into last week, he stole it. Right. He solidified it.
I think we both kind of agree that Brock Bowers should be the rookie of the year.
Should be the rookie of the year, but it's a quarterback award.
Yeah, they're just not going to give it to a tight end. Jaden's had a better year than any other rookie quarterbacks. He looked the best. He looks the most comfortable. Again, if you follow me on Twitter, you know all about it. The Washington Commanders just did a great job of setting Jaden Daniels up with Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury implemented plays from LSU that he ran in college and kind of tweaked them throughout to make him understand the offense more and get more comfortable and stuff like that. And that's what you want someone to do for a rookie quarterback. Sean Payton did a great job of that too.
They were both perfect fits.
Yeah, and guess who didn't? Someone who's going to have the third offensive coordinator. Third offensive coordinator going into his second year. So.
Yep. So then we had another snooze fest last night. The Vikings played how the Vikings have been the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold probably ate a large sum of what he was going to get this offseason.
Yeah, his last 2 weeks. It's
laid an egg. 2 biggest games of the year, he didn't show up. Granted, he still won 14 games. No one expected Sam Darnold to win 14 games with the Vikings this year.
Not at all. And I think what you really, I guess, if the upside you're looking at it for Vikings fan is you saw all this before you gave him the money. So
yes,
now you know if he wants a certain amount of money, you let him walk. You bring in a bridge guy.
And it sounds like JJ's their guy. So
it sounds like he might not even play next year. They're talking about he's been having setbacks, and they were more convinced of giving Sam Darnold a big contract because of how well he was playing. Now I don't know if you do that because he hasn't played that well, and if JJ's not going to be ready to go next year, then you just do another bridge guy. Sam Darnold
bring in someone like Jameis.
Yeah, Sam Darnold was supposed to be a bridge guy to begin with. So
right. We'll jump off the NFL. We've got a couple college basketball. I'll talk about my MSU Spartans, and then Krieger can talk about his Wolverines. MSU beat Northwestern. They're rolling. They look good. I'm excited. Like this is the most excited I've been about the team and since the COVID year, where I thought for sure we were winning the national championship. But they look good. They're like plus 78 winning point margin in the Big Ten so far this year, which is number one. Penn State comes to Michigan State tomorrow night. Um, those ones scare me. Like those like games you should win.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ten games you should win are the ones that worry me the most.
Well, Big Ten basketball is just so back and forth.
They
Whatever
beat
it
each other
is.
up.
Yeah, they
They
all
beat
just
each other
beat the
up
shit
all
out of each
year,
other.
and then they get to the tournament.
Yeah, focusing on Big Ten, Michigan just absolutely pummeled Washington over the weekend.
Washington basketball was not ready for the Big Ten.
Yeah, no, I think it was 92-75 or something like that. I mean, it was a shit kicking.
State rolled them, and then the whole state of Michigan rolled them this last 2
and
weeks.
I mean, just like how you said it, Michigan's rolling. The whole Big Ten is rolling. Michigan versus
Right now, they're
Michigan
projected
State,
for 11 teams in the tournament.
yeah, Michigan versus Michigan State. Those matchups are gonna hit like how they used to when Trey Burke was there.
From like
yeah,
2012 to 2020.
yeah, it's gonna be back to good old bully
Slobber
bully
knockers.
ball basketball. So.
Yep.
Michigan travels to Minnesota on Thursday. So we'll talk about that a little bit on Friday's episode as well.
Raw last night, only 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I figured they were.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it by any means.
Right. They kind of said it. He said, we'll tell a story in 40 minutes or 4 hours. So
Yeah.
if that's what they wanted to do. I was also seeing stuff this morning that apparently the only reason it went over the 30 minutes was because Penta took too long.
Their really, match went longer and his
promo and stuff.
went longer.
But apparently, so what? The show is only supposed to be a 2-hour show. Which I mean, whatever. The matchups were great on it.
It had good pacing too.
Yeah, Jay and Gunther has been set for main event. At the end of the month. It's gonna be
next week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, next week. Yeah. It's gonna
next
be
Saturday.
It's gonna be interesting. The whole moniker of Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, and Sunday.
The promo was good.
Yeah,
the promo was
Saturday
good.
night main event. He did a great job. I want to see him win it. I think it would be cool.
I'm not opposed to it, but Gunther's not gonna lose. I don't want to say lose to somebody like Jey Uso, but like I have to say he's not gonna lose to so. But he did lose to Sami Zayn for his IC title.
Right.
So, but Gunther doesn't have to say a lot in his promos, but what he does say it's perfect.
He's so
like
good.
Last night he talked for like 3 minutes and everything he said hit. Like I'm trying to think of the
short and sweet, basically.
Short and sweet, but
and to the point.
Like what he says has meaning.
Yeah,
whether it's 10 seconds or 10 minutes.
Yep, absolutely.
But Penta, we'll go back to his match with Gable was awesome.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Excited.
We were talking about it as we were seeing it. They're going to do so much with him. I hope they give him the same amount of respect as like TNA did, and like put him into like the actual.
He doesn't even need a title right now.
No,
just let him
wrestle.
The people that don't know him, let him have bangers until put him in the Rumble, but let him have bangers until WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then give him a match at WrestleMania for the IC or for like
something,
something to give him his flowers, and then that's when you make the next big run of making him a main card kind of guy.
He was awesome. First ever women's IC champ, kind of swerved us. Lyra Valkyria won it. Dakota Kai. I'm content either way. I like both of them. She's kind of obviously this isn't a world title, but. Her and Tiffany Stratton kind of got similar stories. Very short time on NXT. Both won the NXT title. They both been on the main roster for less than 2 years and both have titles already.
Yeah.
Strapped a rocket to their back and took off.
And I mean, I understand Tiffany. That was pretty quick.
She's so over.
Yeah.
Over.
I still don't understand the over of Lyra of Lyra. I just don't. I mean, you
didn't watch a whole lot of her NXT.
Right.
Stuff.
I didn't watch a whole lot of her NXT, so I didn't know a whole lot of her from there. But, like, this was Dakota Kai's championship to win. It was.
I agree.
She's been in the WWE for 8 years now. Like she was in NXT and stuff and went up, but like all of her
No
injuries that have
titles.
set back, she just hasn't had any singles titles, and it's so disappointing to see because she's so good. You can tell she has so much passion for it. Like it's obviously, it's kind of the same thing with like Gable. Like you can see they have so much passion for it, and yeah, they're gonna write them in and they're gonna have them have their storylines and have them have their features and their promos and stuff. But like seeing like even Gable's starting to get the heel over now, where like the "you suck" chants, and so like they got a lot of deciding to do on what they're gonna do for these superstars that are gaining a lot of traction. But
Gable's had traction for 2 years.
I know, and
they won't pull the trigger.
They won't do it, and I think he would be such a good like underdog story.
Even if he's a bridge champion.
Yeah.
Even if he has it for a couple weeks or a month.
Yeah, or like let as shitty as it would be, let him win it, and then fucking when Brock Lesnar makes his return, pummel him in a second and get the title back. Like do something like, because that's happening. He got added back to the roster on the website.
Yeah,
he got added back to Raw. So I mean, I think he's going to be an entrant at the Royal Rumble. It's almost certain. But
we'll hop into the main event.
Yeah, great match. Obviously the Finn and Damian story has been going back and forth, and with Judgment Day and all that stuff, but that was just I don't think it's gonna cement it as being like this is done, but that was a good way of like, hey, we're gonna we're gonna put this on pause for a little bit. We're gonna have Finn and Dom and all them implode the Judgment Day, and we're gonna have Damian kind of go do his own thing. So
which Damian needs.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with it. But I also think that like there's so much more to tell. But I mean, some of those spots yesterday were insane. It was an absolute,
and they just beat the hell out of each other.
Beat the fuck out of each other, dude. And I mean, those are. I've always been a fan of Finn Balor ever since he came into the WWE. I mean, he was the first NXT champion, wasn't he?
No, Seth Rollins.
That's right, Seth. My bad.
He was the first Universal champion.
Yes, that's what
for
it was.
24 hours.
Yeah. But even then, dude, I mean, Demon Finn Balor, he's one of my favorite
We
wrestlers.
need to get
and I think that's what I think he's gonna turn into like a demon, basically. I really think that the Judgment Day's kind of imploding. I think Carlito and Dom are gonna end up facing JD and Finn at some point. Like
Carlito hasn't been doing shit.
No,
man.
I know, dude. They won't even let him do anything. He's in, he's the butt of the joke half the time. And I understand,
he's collecting a bag.
Yeah, they want to get all these guys their flowers, and with all the new era of WWE and bringing the old guys in, but I mean,
help put guys over too. That's the main thing.
And I'm sure he enjoys doing that. But it's kind of like how the whole Rey Mysterio thing was when they brought him back initially for LWO. He was just kind of not doing anything, and then they
still kind of hasn't done anything.
And then they were like, okay, well, this isn't really working, so we're going to pivot, and it's just going to be Rey versus Santos, and the LWO is going to kind of fall behind, and it's just I feel like WWE has a bad track record of bringing in these superstars that are so loved and just not, and like they want to do other stuff, and like
Edge.
Well, yeah,
Edge
and
came back, or he never won a title when he came back.
Yeah, or like they want to put people over and stuff like that, but WWE just doesn't allow the opportunity for them. Yeah. So, I guess the other thing we can kind of talk about, I don't know if we talked about it last episode, but KO and Cody is officially set for the Rumble. That's
ladder match.
Yeah, ladder match.
And both titles are being advertised.
Yes. So I think
we're gonna get some.
I think we're gonna get a split. Like I think Kevin is initially gonna go up and bring so you know how like recently they have like the little contraption that the title hangs from. I think they're gonna strap them up to two different ones, or like them be individually each other, or whoever grabs it instead of grabbing like the thing that has both titles. I think they're gonna take one of them down. Like I think
they'll be on. I think they'll be on the same ring.
Right. I think they'll be on the same ring, but I think they'll be like, instead of Kevin Owens taking the whole ring off and grabbing both the titles, or like how it is when the tag titles are up there, I think he's going to like undo the belt, take that off, then something happens, Cody goes up, gets the other belt, and then that's how we're gonna get this whole war.
Or they
civil
grab,
war.
they're both grabbing on the sides and fall with
Yeah,
the belt.
yeah, or something like that. It's gonna be civil war. I think a civil war is gonna happen. But then again, you look at what Rock did, and it's just like he didn't really even do much when he came back. So people are kind of confused on what's going to happen because
he was there for numbers. We'll see. We're 2 weeks into the new year.
Yeah, I mean, there's a absolute bunch of rumors going around on what could all happen, and you know, we want to do what we want to do, but I mean,
Rumble is 2 weeks
from Saturday.
Yep. So Saturday night main event the 25th, and then Rumble the 1st.
That's cool.
We won't talk. Yeah. I don't have anything else.
No, I don't either. I got to get going back to work anyways. So.
We appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate the love and support so far. Drop a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Comment below anything. Just Broncos suck, Bears suck, Cubs suck, whatever. Helps engagement.
The one thing I want everyone to comment, please, is either Ben Johnson to the Bears or Mike McCarthy to not coach in the NFL, because I think he's going to end up being the Bears head coach.
He's going to be the Bears coach.
I know. It's going to happen. I know it is, but oh well.
But all right. We will catch you guys on Friday's episode. Have a good one. Peace.